Hi everyone, I'm naturopath Diana Drake, and today I'm doing a seminar on hormone wellness for men and women as we age. So, if you've ever felt like your body is betraying you as you get older, then this is going to be a great presentation for you. So, get your notebook. I'm going to go over a lot of great details today, and let's go ahead and get started. So, today we're going to learn what are hormones, some classic hormone imbalances in men and women and their associated symptoms, the root causes of hormone imbalance, traditional Western medicine options, natural hormonal wellness options, diet and lifestyle changes that assist in a healthy hormone balance, and some specific protocols for low testosterone, menopause, and PCOS. So, what are hormones exactly? Hormones are actually chemical messengers that your body uses to regulate its functions. We tend to focus mainly on sex hormones, right? So that's your estrogens, testosterones, progesterone, and DHEA, which is a steroid precursor. And these are all initially derived from cholesterol. Some additional hormones you may have heard of include melatonin, this is our sleep hormone, TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone, insulin from our pancreas, and then we have cortisol and 17-OHP from the adrenals, and then FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. So we've actually identified over 50 different hormones in the body. There are a lot of them, and they are all controlling so many different processes simultaneously in the body. Let's talk about some symptoms of hormonal imbalance that you might be experiencing that make you wonder if you want to get your hormones checked. In men, big one, low libido, hair loss. Another big one is erectile dysfunction, a beer belly or stubborn belly fat, fatigue, acne on the face or the back, and then aggression and depression, I should say. In women, sorry ladies, we just have way more hormone things going on, so we get the brunt with a lot more symptoms. You might experience fertility issues, lack of periods, painful periods, hair loss, low libido, stubborn belly fat, fatigue, mood swings, PMS, the negative effects of menopause, which would be hot flashes, etc., ovarian cysts, acne, and depression. So, a lot of the most common hormone scenarios that I see in my practice in men or women would be low testosterone with high estrogens and or elevated cortisol levels on top of things like PCOS. So, if you specifically have low testosterone, okay, you're going to experience low sex drive, erectile dysfunction in men, a decreased sense of well-being, a depressed mood, difficulties with concentration and memory, fatigue, moodiness and irritability, and loss of muscular strength. Let's look at PCOS in women. So a PCOS profile hormonally would be elevated testosterones. Estrogens are out of balance. Typically, they're on the lower end of normal. Potential blood sugar issues and cortisol imbalance. And then you might experience incredibly painful periods or even lack of periods or abnormal cycles, horrible PMS symptoms, ovarian cysts, mood disorders, anxiety, depression, hyper or hypoglycemia, sleep disturbances, trouble conceiving, facial hair, skin tags, acne on the face and or the body, gut issues, and stubborn belly fat. Women getting towards going through or postmenopausal, you're experiencing a slowdown in the production of sex hormones since you don't need to reproduce any longer. So particularly the estrogens and progesterones are going to get off here. So the estrogen decreases, and this actually causes an increase in follicle stimulating hormone, which then sends the hypothalamus into a frenzy. Since the hypothalamus controls temperature, among other things, women will experience night sweats, hot flashes, decreased libido, vaginal dryness, fatigue, and weight gain. Let's look at thyroid imbalance. So we have hypothyroid, which is an underactive thyroid. Because the thyroid controls metabolism, among other things, you may experience weight gain, lethargy, brain fog, and an overall feeling that something is wrong. We also have hyperthyroid, which would be an overactive thyroid. In this case, you may experience heart palpitations, weight loss, excess energy, and trouble sleeping. I want to take a second to remind you guys that the thyroid sometimes need to be dysfunctioning up to 75 or 80% before it will even show up on your labs as out of balance. So Sometimes if you're experiencing these symptoms, but your thyroid is testing normal, you might be experiencing something that we refer to as subclinical hypothyroid or hyperthyroid. Okay, I want to go over, and these are really important. I want you guys to understand what the causes are of hormonal imbalance, because it is normal that as we age, we move through some different phases or fluctuation in our hormones. But these are the things that are truly causing our bodies to be out of balance when they're not supposed to be. So the causes of hormone imbalance include endocrine disruptors, xenoestrogens, stress, diet, medication, dental issues, scar tissue, environmental exposure to toxins, hormone replacement therapy, and bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Yes, I am listing hormone replacement therapy as an actual cause of additional hormone imbalance. So let's go through these one at a time. What is an endocrine disruptor? This is something that looks almost identical to a hormone. So the cellular receptor site opens and lets it in, but it cannot actually unlock the cellular function needed, and it just sits there taking the place of an active hormone. Some examples of endocrine disruptors would include heavy metals. So you need to be aware of how metals get into your body, and that would be via vaccines, water supply, deodorant, cosmetics, and chemtrailing. We also have chlorine and fluoride. This is especially harmful for the thyroid. We get this mostly from drinking and bathing in city-treated water and through non-biological dentists, as well as toothpaste. Also from using pools and hot tubs that are treated with chlorine. Glyphosate, which is Roundup or weed killer, this is sprayed on farms and used in yards and commercial landscaping all over the place. We have microplastics. These are found in seafood from the polluted ocean, and these are absorbed via drinking and eating out of plastic containers. I want to take the time to make sure you guys understand that something that's BPA free is not safe, okay? BPA is one chemical. There's also BPB, BPC, BPD, all the way down to BPZ. Drinking out of plastic is not safe. I don't care what free it says it is. It's not good. And here's how you know. If you ever leave a BPA-free plastic water bottle in your car for an hour and come back and drink it, what does it taste like? Plastic. It's full of chemicals. Do not drink out of plastic. Everything should be glass, okay, to be safer. Metal, I think, is okay, but glass truly is the best. It doesn't emit anything. We also have pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Fire retardant chemicals, these are sprayed on most furniture brands. Industrial solvents and lubricants like oil, petroleum products, which include Vaseline, chapstick, things like that, and prescription drugs. So prescription drugs are actually made from industrial solvents. They are a petroleum byproduct. Let's talk about xenoestrogens. Any natural or synthetic compound introduced into the body that mimics the effects of estrogen or promotes its production is a xenoestrogen. Right now, there are over 160 xenoestrogens that may be involved in breast cancer development. That is scary. Women are the largest consumers of cosmetic products, which are a significant source of xenoestrogens. Some examples, these are in sunscreen lotions that are not organic. Stay away. Not only is this bad for you, but you're putting it into water, putting it into the ocean. It's terrible. We have phthalates. These are a group of chemicals in hundreds of products like vinyl flooring, lubricating oils, personal care products, candles, air fresheners, car fresheners, soap, shampoos, hairsprays. This would not necessarily be an ingredient on the ingredient deck. It's just kind of a chemical that's naturally in there. So like if you're putting new flooring in your house or your office, don't use vinyl. Just put wood or tile. And then you really just want to stay away from all these candles and air fresheners, all this crap, unless it is organic and non-toxic. Okay, I want to talk about a phytoestrogenic food source. I want you guys to understand that there are foods that increase estrogenic activity in the body, but these aren't xenoestrogens. These just have an estrogenic effect, which could be good or bad depending on your hormone profile. So I'll get into that a little bit more. So soy products, including tofu, tempeh, miso, and edamame, red clover, which is an herb, coffee, flax seeds, oats, lentils, and legumes, right? Peanuts, beans, and peas. These are all phytoestrogenic, and I'm going to touch on this more later, I promise. Let's move on to stress. Adrenal stress is one of the major causes of hormonal imbalance. I really want to drive that point home. You can throw off your hormones if you are incredibly stressed. So, chronic stress can affect the body in 4 phases and show the following symptoms at each stage. Phase number 1, adrenal adaptation. In this phase, you will experience digestive problems, maybe the inability to calm down, you guys, this one I butchered too, prostatitis, increased serum cholesterol, severe weight gain or potentially loss, menstrual problems, sleep disturbances, diarrhea, and a decrease in sex drive. Next, moving to phase 2, this is adrenal maladaptation. You may experience chronic fatigue syndrome, loss of libido, impotence, bloating and fluid retention, constipation, hair loss, bone density loss, increased urination, and low back or sciatica pain. In phase 3, now we're moving into adrenal exhaustion. We could have fibromyalgia, chronic nonspecific pain in the body, heart arrhythmias, severe constipation, panic attacks or anxiety, bile reflux and digestive problems, depression and mental frustration, memory loss and inability to think, sensitivity to smells, light, or sound, difficulty breathing, inflammation, and joint pain. Now moving into phase 4, adrenals are burnt out. So on top of all these symptoms, you might have a pretty significant blood sugar event, especially like a hypoglycemia event. Another major cause of hormone imbalance is poor diet. These are the things you should avoid, right, or limit. So sugar. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine on your brain. It is inflammatory, it drops the immune response, and it feeds bad bacteria in the gut. Kids don't need it, and neither do adults. This should be a very once in a while limited item. Then we have caffeine. You guys know how I feel about this. This is a toxic drug, and it's an insecticide. Alcohol, again, toxic drug, causes inflammation, causes a drop in the immune response. It causes elevated liver enzymes, dehydration, and brain cell loss or damage. Not good. This should not be a common thing in your body. Poor diet would include eating high carbohydrates, right? This spikes your glucose levels and affects the insulin hormone. Poor nutrition in general, like not enough fruits and veggies or natural foods, that's considered poor diet. And then processed foods that contain chemicals, sugar, these things have no nutritional value and should be limited or eliminated altogether. Let's talk about medication. Any medication, okay, any prescription drug or over-the-counter drug, cortisone, if it's anti-inflammatory, a glucose-regulating drug, insulin, synthetic and natural hormone replacement, thyroid drugs, birth control, antibiotics, high blood pressure meds, etc. Medications are endocrine disruptors because they are chemical in nature. I want you guys to understand this. More specifically, they are made from petroleum. These are byproducts of petroleum, which are endocrine disruptors, excuse me. Some are specifically designed to interfere with the body's natural hormonal process, like birth control, for example. So if you're taking medication for years and years, maybe it's an allergy medication, maybe it's birth control, eventually this is going to affect your hormones. Let's talk about dental issues as a cause for hormone imbalance. Every tooth has an endocrine relationship in your body. Dental material that is not biocompatible can be the source of hormonal issues, such as metal implants or fillings, for example, a silver amalgam filling. Dental infections are also a major problem. These are a major cause of thyroid issues due to viral and bacterial infection draining to the thyroid. I want you guys to understand that every tooth is on a meridian of a vital organ. So if we have an infection there or we have metal there or toxins, it's going to drain to that organ. Let's move on to scar tissue. Energy flow blockages along acupuncture meridians can develop scarring from surgery or injury. So if you've had an organ removed, if you had dental surgery, plastic surgery, or a hysterectomy, this scar tissue can interfere with your acupuncture meridians, and this can affect hormone production and health. Environmental toxins, big one, because they are all endocrine disruptors and or xenoestrogens and create toxicity in the cells. So pesticides, radiation, electromagnetic fields, so cell phones, computers, 5G, all that. Mercury and lead, metals in the water supply. Any contact with a toxin from this polluted environment, this is going to really toxify your body and your cells. This stuff needs to be avoided and it has to get out. And then we have, unfortunately, environmental toxins are in the air, in the water, and the food supply. So It's hard to avoid them. It's more about, I like to say, it's not what gets in that messes you up, it's what can't get out, right? So we know we're coming in contact with these things. We just need to focus on constantly detoxing them out. So we are right now told if our hormones are off, right? You go to the doctor, they say, oh, you have low testosterone? Here, let's do hormone replacement therapy. Oh, you're going through menopause? Let's replace your hormones. Oh, you have PCOS, you have acne, let's put you on birth control, right? These are the options that are commonly available right now through Western medicine. So what is HRT? This stands for hormone replacement therapy, and BHRT, which stands for bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. These are all biosimilar at best. These are not native to the body. There is no such thing as a bioidentical hormone, okay? It is still synthetic. It might be similar, but it is not identical to what your body makes, period. Please know that. That is a marketing tag. That's something that's not real, okay? So the idea behind HRT is to replace or input hormones into the body that we are not adequately producing. So you might have options like hormone patches, pellets, injections, implants, topical creams, even naturally plant-derived formulas from things like yam and soy. Those are still HRT, okay? And then we have oral tablets and capsules. So with a little time and the proper supervision by a doctor, you can create a balanced hormone profile. And this way, your levels will look good on the labs and you may feel better. Not everyone does, but most people will feel better. But this is the problem with HRT. We are continuing to find out the devastating effect of hormone replacement therapy on humans. Research is showing that all hormones that are taken or used internally or externally, including natural ones like yam creams, have a negative effect. Any hormone replacement, whether it is natural or synthetic, causes the body to slow down the production of its own natural hormones. This includes sex hormones as well as melatonin, DHEA, progesterone, HGH, thyroid stimulating hormone, all of them. Let's talk about some facts about HRT. So before and after test results reveal that synthetic, natural, and bioidentical compounded hormones cause many problems, including the body shuts down production of its own natural hormones. A dependence on the replacement hormone develops, which actually ages the body. You guys, this is the opposite of what we want to do. Toxicity burdens the entire body, including the liver, kidneys, blood, and the immune system. Hormone levels then become toxic. Hormone levels become elevated, affecting cortisol levels. And then using these things are only going to cover up or camouflage the true cause of the imbalance that's going on that's not being addressed. So the risks and side effects of HRT. What are the negative side effects of hormone replacement therapy? Hormone pellets, injections, all that stuff. Number one, an increased chance of breast cancer. How scary. Tender breasts. Lumps in your breast if you're a male. Digestive issues, hair loss, joint pain, memory lapse, mood swings, water retention, weight gain, nausea, headaches, double vision, shortness of breath, chest pains, swelling or painful legs, jaundice because of the liver toxicity, depression, skin irritation, and discolored stool or urine. Let's talk about estrogens and your thyroid, because you might have low estrogens, right? So you're told, okay, we need to input estrogens into your body. Well, estrogen stimulates the growth of the thyroid gland. Therefore, excess estrogen can lead to an enlarged thyroid or goiter. On the other side of this, inadequate thyroid tissue results from too little estrogen. So estrogen regulates the protein that binds to the thyroid hormone TBG in the bloodstream. If you take hormone replacement therapy or BHRT, excess estrogen will cause thyroid issues. What we need to be doing here is balancing the thyroid and detoxify excess estrogens while supporting our own natural progesterone and testosterone production at any age. So I am saying you may end up affecting your thyroid negatively if you're taking HRT. That's what I'm saying here. I want to review again all of the causes of hormonal imbalance one more time. Endocrine disruptors, xenoestrogens, stress, diet, medication, dental issues, scar tissue, environmental toxins, and HRT and BHRT. So the big question is this: Does hormone replacement therapy correct, sorry typo, any of the root causes of hormone dysfunction? The answer is no. HRT does not address stress, environmental toxicity, medication, dental issues, diet, scar tissue, etc. HRT only puts a band-aid on a situation by creating a balanced profile of hormones in the blood. That's it. Meanwhile, you're leaving harmful processes continuing to go unchecked in the body and creating additional toxicity on the liver. I want you guys to understand that you have natural options. Balancing hormone issues naturally takes a combination of 1, diet and lifestyle changes, 2, detoxing, cleansing. This is something that we might not do if you have severe adrenal fatigue, but that's why you would work with a practitioner. Number 3, supplementing. And number 4, homeopathic hormone rejuvenation, which is something that I offer through my clinic. So let's talk about getting to the root of your specific situation and making some lifestyle changes. So, number 1, get your hormones tested, guys. Let's figure out where you're at. I recommend using urine or saliva because blood is less accurate and we just get way more data from urine and saliva. Specifically, the Dutch test is going to be a urine test that you'll do at home. And if you want to do saliva, I recommend the Access Labs 5-point saliva test. So number 1, let's get to the root of what's going on exactly as far as where the hormones are, right? Number 2, if you have metal in your mouth, get it out. You do not need to have metal fillings. These need to be uninstalled, especially if they're mercury. Just get it out. You can also get tested for heavy metals if you're curious. You can do that with urine and blood. And number 4, be aware how metals get into the body, right? So again, vaccines, water, deodorant, cosmetics, and then the aerosol chemtrailing, unfortunately, is full of heavy metals. Number 5, you want to clean up your water supply and filter it. So I love reverse osmosis systems because they remove contaminants, metals, chlorine, fluoride, microplastics, and they also work on alkalizing the water so the pH is a little bit higher, which is good for you. You want to clean up your diet. You want to aim for 80% organic fiber-fueled foods, which would be fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, legumes. We want to detox your body every spring and fall using an herbal kit that targets the kidneys, liver, colon, blood, and lymphatics. You especially want to detox your body not before, but after you get your metals removed from your mouth. You definitely want to do a heavy metal detox pretty intensively after that happens. Number 8, please only eat organic food. And even if it is organic, you want to still soak it first for pesticides. A lot of people don't realize that they still spray organic foods with pesticides, and they are chemical in nature. They're just not the worst ones, but the FDA lets anything get approved these days. So soak everything for at least 20 minutes. Splash it with vinegar in the water in your sink. Just get all that extra junk off. Number 9, you want to implement things to help you manage stress, meditation, mindfulness, yoga, all that good stuff. Number 10, remove the toxic chemicals from your home. You want to switch to organic and plant-based cleaning, laundry, and dish products. Number 11, we want to do the same thing with your personal care products like lotions, soaps, and cosmetics that are not organic and plant-based. I am going to do a whole video upcoming on brands that I recommend, so look for that in the future. And number 12, if you need, work with a practitioner to help you assess and make a plan. Some of these things you can correct on your own easily, some things you might need help with, but I am going to give you guys some protocol guidance for certain hormone scenarios. So first, we're going to jump into a protocol for low testosterone. If you are male, you may have this in conjunction with higher estrogens. You might not, but I'm going to go over both. So in general, low testosterone in males, you want to clean up and get rid of endocrine disruptors. And then some great supplements are going to be ashwagandha because it supports the adrenals, fenugreek. Ginseng is great for erectile dysfunction, and you want to take enough that you feel a difference. So, if what the bottle says isn't doing it for you, just take more. You're not going to hurt yourself. It's an herb. Indole 3-carbinol I love, and this would be to help process estrogen buildup. So if you are male and your estrogens are too high, get that Indole 3 going. Also, the DIM and the N-acetylcysteine for every guy. This helps the liver, which is our hormone processing plant. And then homeopathic hormone rejuvenation. This is a kit that I offer through my practice or for sale on my website. Let's jump to PCOS in women. So, PCOS is an issue with converting testosterone to estrogens. It's an aromatization issue. This causes bad period symptoms. You might have cysts on the ovaries, blood sugar imbalances, acne, depression, anxiety, weight gain, and sleep disturbances. Something that's great for this is myo-inositol powder. This is pictured at the right. It is a sugar alcohol that reduces insulin resistance. Berberine will help promote healthy blood sugar levels by facilitating the body's ability to regulate glucose metabolism. It also encourages a healthy intestinal environment to protect the body against bacterial toxins that can interfere with normal glucose metabolism. It's a great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. It helps lose weight, in particular visceral fat, like that stubborn belly fat, and it helps normalize cholesterol and triglyceride levels. I also recommend N-acetylcysteine. I have PCOS. I take a pretty high dose of this. I actually take 9 capsules a day. So usually what's on the bottle, I recommend you triple it. So NAC helps the body produce glutathione, which is the body's master antioxidant to detox via the liver. Also, because women with PCOS tend to have a lower estrogenic profile, you want to take estrogenic herbs that will help increase your estrogens, and this would include black cohosh, red clover, licorice root. And then some great herbs that decrease testosterone levels would be white peony, nettles, reishi mushroom, dim, licorice, and zinc. We also we want to increase the estrogenic foods, right? So the soybeans, the flax, chickpeas, dried apricots, raisins, dates, stuff like that. If you're going to do a protein shake, make it a soy source, and you want to make sure that it's organic and non-GMO. Curcumin and quercetin for inflammation, just because PCOS women are prone to more inflammation. And I definitely recommend my homeopathic hormone rejuvenation with 90 days of cleansing to get rid of endocrine disruptors. I also have a great kit for PCOS coming out through my brand Skin Naturopathics that you can look for as well. Let's talk about a protocol for menopause. Number 1, you have to cut the sugar and caffeine. You have to get rid of just chemicals, right? So these are chemical in nature and really bad for the body, and this stuff's got to go. This will really help with anxiety and sleep disturbances and all those things. We need to cleanse. So we do 90 days initially and then twice yearly. About 95% of women I see in my practice, I ask them, when's the last time you did a full body detox? And they say, I've never done that my whole life. So we have a lot of things that need to come out of your body and out of your cellular receptor sites that have been built up over years so that we can reprogram the endocrine system how to work properly again. And we do that using homeopathic hormone rejuvenation, which is next on this list. We also want to replenish estrogens using estrogenic herbs, which you don't need to do if you're doing homeopathic hormone rejuvenation, but I did just want to give you guys a list of estrogenic herbs, and that would be black cohosh, chaste tree, and red clover. You want to actually increase your organic non-GMO soy-containing foods, tofu, soybeans, soy protein, milk, yogurt, beans, legumes, dark leafy greens, flaxseed, all the soy stuff, and the estrogenic foods. And then you really want to support your adrenals and hypothalamus, and we can do that with ashwagandha, your Lutherero, and if you're really in a bad situation with adrenal dysfunction and burnout, you can bring in a desiccated adrenal blend, which would be, it's literally the adrenal of an animal that you would be taking in a supplement. So I do recommend working with a practitioner on something like that. Let's talk about a low progesterone but high estrogenic profile. So with exposure to xenoestrogens and an excess burden on the liver, many women have too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. I also want to tell you guys that if you are overweight, fat holds estrogen. I actually had a client who had a full hysterectomy literally 20 years ago, and she was through menopause, and I pulled her hormones and her estrogens were through the roof. And she was so confused of how this is possible, but she was also overweight. So if you are overweight and you have a high estrogenic profile, you have got to lose weight. That will help bring your estrogens into range. So we also need, if we have a high estrogenic profile, to cleanse the liver and the whole body. In this case, we want to avoid estrogenic foods that contain soy and flax. We really want to bring in the indole-3 carbinol because this helps detox the liver and break down the extra estrogens. And then herbs that counteract estrogens by increasing progesterone would be blue cohosh, false unicorn, sarsaparilla, wild yam, and chaste tree, and you could probably find this in a nice blend somewhere. Just in case anyone is interested with working with me, I have different options available. So if you want to actually work with me directly, virtually or in person, I do $2,500 for my 6-month program. That includes all of your labs on month 1 and 5. We do your intake discovery appointment. We do biofeedback to look at root causes and toxicity. We do a food sensitivity scan. I include all of your follow-up appointments for the next 5 months. We do diet and meal plans. We do shopping lists, recipes, direct communication with me, all that kind of good stuff. So that program is $2,500, and then your natural medicines would be on top of that every month when we meet. I also have protocol links available. So if you go onto my website and just go to the protocol store and click on full script protocols for $5, you can unlock a full protocol and full script, which would give you links to buy all of the recommended supplements plus all of the instructions. And then you can also purchase complete protocol kits directly through me, which would include the homeopathic hormone rejuvenation that I have mentioned several times. And you can also do that on my protocol store. So the protocol links in full script do not have homeopathy. If you want homeopathy, you would have to buy the complete kit through me. And those are designed in a 90-day intro kit and then maintenance kits after that. And that's because you need to be on any hormone stuff for at least 90 days minimum. Usually it's going to be a 6-month road or more, which is why I like to do the 6-month package to work with me directly. So thank you guys so much for listening today. Again, I'm Diana Drake. This is my contact information, and I do offer complimentary 15-minute phone consultations to anyone that wants to talk about your situation, see if we're a good fit. And again, you can do virtual or in person in Colorado. So again, thank you guys so much. I hope you found this useful and have a great rest of your day.